Hello, I'm Dave Firkin and welcome to something new for 2025. Firkin travels with me, Dave Firkin. Now then, I'm going to be taking you for a bit of a walk as we explore the great county of Yorkshire. And along the way, we'll be sampling some of the fine ales and craft beers that are brewed in this fantastic county. We shall also be marking some of the national and international beer day celebrations as we indulge ourselves in sampling some of the fine beers that are brewed from across the world. But I thought we'd start off the whole series by taking you to a beer festival. The Great British Winter Beer Festival, to be more precise, taking place right now in the market town of Rotherham, South Yorkshire. Now, a dedicated driver for the day for a beer festival is probably not your best option. I mean, let's face it, who in their right mind would want to drive someone to a beer festival, sit there for several hours drinking water whilst they get progressively more whammy, and then take them home in the evening? Exactly. So I am utilising public transport because that is the sensible thing to do. And I am a very sensible person. Most of the time. Some of the time. All right, none of the time, but oh look, there's a bus. This year's event is taking place at the Magna Science Adventure Centre in Rotherham. However, the closest station to the event is Meadowhall, which serves as the main transport link to the Meadowhall Shopping Centre in Sheffield. As well as the usual high street stores, it also offers a huge dining area with numerous restaurants and other food outlets, as well as an 11-screen multiplex cinema. A quick bus ride on the X3 takes you from the station to the Magna Centre in around 7 minutes. The Magna Centre itself was once the Templeborough Steelworks, the largest electrical melting shop in the world, and in its heyday it employed over 10,000 people. Once I got into the festival, I had to settle for this milk stout and this mocha stout, because one of the problems I'm having is they don't seem to have any of the beers that I wanted, which is a bit of an arse. So I had to make do with the Orkney Orca and the Dragonhead Stout. The things we have to do. The food options available were simple but substantial. Always important, I find, to make sure you've left room for the beer. A cheeky cider, most refreshing. Let's see what we can see down here. Theakston's. This large area at one end of the main hall was left fairly empty, presumably in readiness for the evening's live musical events. Back here for the beer, dear. A third of a pint of Oscar Wilde. Charming chap. So this is the walk from the main bar and this should take us to the bar at the front. Let's hope I've not got lost. If there was one criticism at all that I had to give on this event, it was the layout. The layout between the main bar and what I'm calling the front bar. As you can see, it isn't a short walk. When I arrived at the venue, I entered what I'm calling the front bar. And this was, at the time, absolutely packed, rammed with school children eating their packed lunch. In a panic, you rush through, trying to avoid the screaming little darlings as you go off in search of beer, not realising you are in fact rushing past quite a lot of beer at the time. And at last, some of the beers I'd been looking for. Well, that's the end of our very short film on this year's Great British Winter Beer Festival. Keep a lookout next week from the 20th of February as we embark on our series of walks across God's own country, Yorkshire.